For centuries, we feared the dark, the unknown, the places where shadows dance and the air is thick with ghostly whispers. And then, we paid $25 to walk through it. What happened to haunted houses, man? It's either are you willing to pay $50 to see two skeletons in plastic costumes just go, nah, or do you want to experience literal torture by a convicted felon? There's no in between. What I want to get down to is where did it start and where did it go wrong? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you better strap in because today we're doing a deep dive on the history of the disturbing evolution of haunted attractions. Our story begins in the 1800s, around the time of the Victorian era, where only the richest of the rich and the most curious gathered for ghostly encounters. Seances became entertainment of the day, darkened rooms, eerie whispers, and the occasional spirit.
If you get lucky.
The seances would often be led by a woman, as people believed that a woman's femininity and intuition allowed for easier access to otherworldly realms. The seances were often started by the participants holding hands around a table in a circle, where they would begin asking the spirit to reveal their presence. Tables would shake, voices be called out, sometimes even the spirit's favorite cologne could be smelt throughout the room. Oh, too bad it was all bullshit. Dude, it's the 1800s. Back then, all you had to do was just pull the simple, and then 2 minutes later you're being fucking burned at the stake and your family's being hung at the gallows. These mediums were fucking insane geniuses. A lot of the time they would actually pretend to have ghost ectoplasm, which would protrude out of their mouths and their ears. So then they could be like, oh, you see that? That's physical proof. It's real. But the ectoplasm would just be cornstarch, water, flour. They'd even sometimes hire ventriloquists to pose as their assistants, where, you know, for example, during a seance, somebody could ask a question and then the ventriloquist would respond pretending to be the ghost. Which, that would just be the funniest fucking job. I'm just imagining a ventriloquist in the corner just, idiots as well. Oh my, did you hear that? What? This is where the very basis of a haunted attraction was actually formed. And from this, the idea would only expand into something a lot more crazier. Here we are in the late 1800s, and for whatever reason, being freaked out is something that people are actively trying to seek out. The idea of just the thrill of it is becoming more and more popular with everyday people. Enter freak shows. Now, just first things first, the idea of a freak show nowadays is just insane. Citizens from both higher and lower class could simply spend a nickel or two and go and look at what was being advertised as the most disgusting and horrifying freaks. These freak shows were so popular that they would often be touted around the world. Many performers would actually die during the travel due to the long hours of just pure exhaustion. Who cares? We're making money. Probably like $2 monthly. But as we all know, the depressing reality of freak shows is that they weren't freaks. It was just people with disabilities or just physical deformities. It's like any given day a promoter could just be strolling down rundown New York and just see a pair of struggling Siamese twins and just instantly think, yes. That's not a hypothetical, that actually happened. The Jones twins were a pair of Siamese twins who toured the United States during the late 1800s and tragically passed away at the young age of 15 months due to mysterious circumstances. Dude, is it really that mysterious?
Wilson, come here. How did this pair of 15-month-old malnourished Siamese twins die after touring the country?
Some of the other popular freaks you might know could be like the Elephant Man, Joseph Merrick, or Myrtle Corbin, the four-legged girl. Which, I mean, like, can I say, like, wow. I mean, like, look at the way they sit there. Like, it almost looks fake, but it's real. And better yet, she lived until she was 60, which back in those times was pretty old. You also got Christian Ramos as Lionel, the lion-faced man, and Isaac Sprague as the living skeleton. Alright to make jokes, is it? No, I can't. But isn't it crazy that your grandparents' have seen this? Alright, now moving on to the 1930s. The Great Depression is at an all-time high, and people need fun in their lives because it has no water or food. Introducing the dark ride. Now, if you had somewhat of a semblance of a childhood, you've been on this before. These are the rides that are at literally every single fair ever. The original dark ride concept was a 2-storied slow ride through a haunted house, filled with spooky decor, skeletons popping out really slowly. The founders of the ride were a company called Pretzel Amusement Ride Company, due to someone saying it felt like I was twisted and turned into a pretzel. I wish I could say I had good memories on these rides, but I just don't. The only time I remember vividly being on one, I was like 11, and I was just sitting in the back seat of one, and in front of me was this high school couple, and they were just making out the whole time. So I just had to sit there and just... Now this next one would take the idea of a haunted attraction and absolutely skyrocket it into the mainstream. And where else better did it happen than the happiest place on earth, Disneyland. In 1969, the world would forever be changed when the Haunted Mansion finally opened its doors to public, and it was an instant success. They didn't have zombies pissing blood out of their or whatever, but I truly think what Disney went for is just a complete and utter work of art, and it's only aged better as time has gone on. Everything from the inside decor, the music, intricate small details, it almost feels like they're rewarding you for looking at these little small details in the ride, because they're spread all throughout the mansion. Dancing ghosts, head inside a crystal ball, floating instruments. The style of this ride is instantly a 10 out of 10. And as someone that went on it myself, I'll never forget the experience. I'll also never forget the dark secret that the Haunted Mansion held for years. The name The Haunted Mansion wasn't just quite a gimmick. Several people in the past have been reported taking their loved ones with them on the ride. Not so bad, right? Well, I should have clarified, the loved ones aren't actually alive. They're ashes. People would bring on the cremated ashes of their children, their parents. They would spread the ashes throughout the ride. I mean, the ride is always being stopped. There's always weird noises, and some things you just can't quite explain. So the question is the Haunted Mansion actually haunted? And finally, here we are, 2024. Hell. I mean, nah, it's actually not that bad. I'd actually argue currently right now we are in the best time for any Halloween ever. We have every option available for us to get scared on Halloween. You want to go to a seance? Go on Zoom and get one done by a crackhead for $5. You want to ride the dreaded dark ride? I mean, go on it now, it's the time of the year. You want to get kidnapped, waterboarded, and well, of course we have a place like that. Wait, what? Of course, I could not make this video without mentioning the infamous McCamey Manor. I'm not going to go too deep into it, there's already 1,000 great YouTube videos that go really in depth, and I encourage you to watch them. McCamey Manor is supposedly the pioneer of the extreme haunted house. Which, dude, that just sounds so lame. The participants of McCamey Manor are made to sign a waiver before entering, as the participants can experience the following: physical assault, waterboarding, psychological torture, choking, exhaustion. But I mean, again, that's fine, you signed the waiver, you should be all good with that. You know, the same waiver that also includes the risk of your teeth being extracted and your fingernails pulled. How is that a risk? And if you're one of the lucky ones, you can win a cash prize of $20,000. Oh, well, you can't win the $20,000. Now, YouTuber Reckless Ben actually has an amazing series on McCamey Manor. I won't elaborate anymore, I'm just begging you, watch that, it's a great series. Either way, who gives a f***? The owner and the creator of McCamey Manor was actually arrested a couple months back and charged with attempted murder and I don't really know how to segue to the outro for this. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comment section below what you think was the best era for haunted attractions. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And
catch me, I'm falling. I'll